if you are the sole breadwinner for everyone around you, hindi pwedeng isa lang ang emergency fund mo. Hear me out. I'm a mom of 3 and a breadwinner building a 60 million peso portfolio. And I am telling you this, we need a different structure for our emergency funds. So kung napapanood mo yung mga financial advice dito and on other platforms, you will always hear people giving advice na set up your emergency fund at least 6 to 12 months of your monthly expenses. Tama naman yun. Syempre, lahat naman tayo dumadaan sa emergency. Ang problema lang, kapag breadwinner ka, hindi lang palaging iisa yung emergency. Minsan, sabay-sabay pa. So kung mag-uusap tayo about multiple crisis, na-experience ko na to. Last December, yung dad ko, inoperahan siya. And then yung mom ko, na-aksidente naman siya. So both parents, kinailangan nilang ma-hospital. Yung sa dad ko, yung operation niya, it took 3 months hospitalization. Buti na lang, nasa public hospital pa siya. Pero kung hindi, siguro hindi rin namin kinaya yung lahat ng hospital bills niya. Ngayon, hindi ibig sabihin na nasa public hospital yung isang taong may sakit. Wala ka nang gagastusin doon. Yung pang-araw-araw na ginagamit niya, yung mga gamot na hindi pinaprovide sa hospital, yung mga dugo, plasma, whatever is needed for the operation, kailangan mo yun i-provide. And most people, hindi yun kaya agad-agad. So, yun yung tinatawag natin for mga breadwinners na nagkakaroon sila ng multiple crisis. Hindi lang kasi siya isa, minsan sabay-sabay. Kung finalo mo yung concept na 6 to 9 months or 6 to 12 months emergency fund, at least meron kang pera na ginagastos para doon sa emergency na yun. Pero paano kung pwede mo naman siyang i-improve? Gawin mo siyang 3 klaseng emergency fund. Technically sa amin, sa bahay namin, hindi namin siya tinatawag na emergency fund kasi medyo negative yung connotation. So yung mom ko, meron siyang paniniwala na kapag nag-iipon ka, may nangyayaring aksidente kasi may pinaglalaanan ka ng pera. So hindi ko siya tinatawag na emergency fund. Tinatawag ko siya na cash reserves. So nung December din, nag-set up din kami ng family trip for all 7 of us. So imagine, funded na yung trip to Taiwan, nagkaroon na emergency yung dad ko. When we got back, na-aksidente naman yung mom ko. So sabay-sabay siya in a month. So na-wipe out talaga yung ipon namin at that time. Kaya nag-rely kami heavily sa credit card. So yung lahat ng pwede naming bilhin through the credit card is charged there. And then everything else is coming out of our household expenses and emergency fund. So after all of those, we cut our budget. Kumbaga nagkaroon kami ng bagong setup for the budget for the whole year. And doon na namin in-incorporate yung bago naming setup, which is having the 3 layers of emergency fund. So ano-ano yung mga yun? Unang-una kasi, you have to build insulation. And bakit kailangan ng insulation? Kasi kung meron kang emergency fund, ang iniisip lang palagi for the emergency fund is pinaprotektahan mo yung sarili mo from losing your job. So kaya siya 6 to 12 months kasi kung mawawalan ka ng trabaho, meron kang 6 months to survive or 6 to 12 months to survive bago ka makahanap ulit ng bagong trabaho. Pero paano kung emergency is different? Paano kung ibang tao yung emergency? Natutunan ko to sa mom ko. Basically, ang ginagawa niya before, kahit wala kaming pera, makikita ko sa iba-ibang location niya ng damitan nilalagay yung pera niyang iniipon. Napakasimple, diba? So, kung may susobra sa kanya sa paglalabada, makikita ko, nilalagay niya sa parang, meron siyang piggy bank. Meron din siyang parang iniipit dun sa mga bulsa ng mga damit niya. Tapos meron sa mga kakaibang lugar sa bahay namin. Tapos iniisip ko, bakit ganun? Bakit ganun siya magtabi ng pera? So, kaya pala ganun siya magtabi ng pera kasi inilalaan niya yun para sa iba-ibang tao. So, halimbawa, kung may kapatid siyang lumapit sa amin, tapos kailangan ng pera, kukuha siya dun sa drawer niya. Yun lang yung nakalaan dun. Tapos kung sa bahay naman, kukuha siya dun sa piggy bank niya. Yun yung emergency para sa bahay namin. Yan, ganyan yung mom ko. So, coming from that experience, binuo ko rin siya in 3 layers. So first, yung house buffer fund. Yung house buffer fund, ang nangyari dito is, kung sa isang buwan, meron kaming survival fund or yung normal na budget namin, kung may lalagpas doon, kung may mga kailangan na membro ng family namin, outside the family, tito, tita, kapatid ng husband ko or whatsoever, pwedeng manggaling yun muna doon sa house buffer fund, doon sa buwan na yun. Kung ang nakalaan sa house buffer fund namin is 5,000, ibig sabihin meron kaming 5,000 pesos na pwedeng itulong sa emergency na yun. And then, itong cash reserves, technically, itong cash reserves talaga namin, yung emergency fund namin na kung mawawalan ng work, ito yung magiging buffer namin para makasurvive through the months na we don't have any work. Yung last is yung bago namin na inad, which is this year lang, kasi I'm not very healthy. And ang naisip namin dito is, if I get hospitalized, dapat meron kaming separate fund for that. Although, right now, doon naman sa work ko, meron naman akong health insurance. But the thing is, the health insurance is reimbursable. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan muna namin siyang bayaran or i-shoulder bago siya i-reimburse ng insurance company sa amin. So, kung ano man yung mangyayari sa akin, kailangan muna maglabas ng pera ng asawa ko. Pwede yan, syempre pwede pa rin naman namin gamitin yung credit card, malaking tulong yun. Pero most of the time, kung kakailanganin ng cash, dyan siya manggagaling. So, yung tatlo na to, yung una, yung house buffer fund, ang custodian yan or ang nangangalaga ng fund na yan is yung asawa ko since nasa kanya yung budget. Yung cash reserve sa akin to, usually tinatabi ko to sa GoTime. And recently nga, nagamit naman siya. Technically, hindi naman emergency, pero nilaan ko rin yung part nun for tuition fee ng aking eldest child. And then lastly, yung System Recovery Fund, ito naman yung additional na na-earn ng asawa ko through his part-time job. Dahil may extra 10,000, so siya na yung naging custodian nito and we are keeping this on under Maribank. So yan, tatlo siya. Ang purpose na to is para alam namin kung hanggang saan yung limit nung kaya naming ibigay if the emergency is not ourselves or not our own emergency. Pero syempre, the emergency fund or these money are just half the battle. Hindi pa rin siya yung buong coverage ng family mo. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Ibig sabihin na to, dapat kaya rin nung family mo to support you bilang breadwinner. So, for example, kung hindi man sila mako-contribute financially, dapat meron silang kayang gawin para mabawas yung ibang responsibility sa'yo as the breadwinner. So, halimbawa, before I was a single mom, ang pinaka naging partner ko in all of this is my mom. So, she takes care of my child when I need to work. And then, ako, focus lang ako dun sa work ko. Mag-overtime ako. Pwede akong kumuha ng multiple shifts para ma-meet ko yung desired amount ko for that month and makabili ako nung para sa anak ko. Ngayon, nung naging kami na ng husband ko, kami na yung mag-partner. And then, sinusupport pa rin kami ng mom ko by doing the household chores, ganyan. And kapag wala kami, and binabantayan niya yung kids namin. Since then, until now, inaalagaan pa rin kami ng mom ko. So parang yun yung tinake niya na responsibility away from us para makapag-focus kami in earning money. So sa iba, other people have higher helps. Ako, I still have my mom. And then, in-empower ko naman yung mga children ko into doing household chores para hindi rin mahirapan yung mom ko. So, as long as you build your team, even your children will be able to understand your situation. And minsan, you don't have to deprive them kasi parang sasabihin ng mga iba, parang nade-deprive yung mga bata, nahihirapan, they have responsibilities. No, because they are part of your team. So, everyone needs to do something to help the team. I think yun yung best part dun. Being a protector doesn't mean burning yourself alive to keep everyone else warm. Kahit na isa lang yung team member mo na helping you right now, staying strong together sets an example that teaches the people around you responsibility and accountability. You don't only need to protect your cash, you also need to distribute the daily load and allocate a small line item for your own recovery. If you want to see how we manage our household and protect our baseline step by step, follow along on the journey. That's the update for today, group mates. See you on the next one.